And 7.3 is all about solving addition and subtraction equations. There are some rules that I want you to know that you'll have to learn and remember that will help you whenever you're solving addition and subtraction equations. So go ahead and write these down for me. All right, let's go ahead and read these together. First step, what do you have to do before you do anything else? Identify the variable. What is a variable? A letter that represents a number, okay? So any letter that you see is the variable. Your whole goal is to get the variable by itself, okay? Number 2, read me what number 2 says. Move the number that is keeping the variable from being alone with an inverse operation. Do you guys remember when we were talking about our commutative properties? What does inverse mean? Opposite, okay? So here are some inverse operations or operations that can undo each other. Basically, you have to do the opposite in order to get rid of something. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. What is the opposite of subtraction? Addition. Same thing with multiplication and division. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. And the opposite of division? All right, so if you're trying to get rid of something, you have to do the opposite. And then there's one final rule that we have to remember. What does number 3 say? What do you do to one side, you must do to the other. All right, just like with your parents. Your parents have to be fair and do the same thing for you that they would do for a sibling, all right? At least you appreciate when they're being fair. Same thing happens here. With math, whatever you do to one side, you have to be fair and do it to the other side. We're going to use those rules that we just talked about to help us with this. Number 1 is just asking us to solve the equation and then check our solution. So, looking at our notes that we just wrote down, what is step number 1?
Identify the variable.
Identify the variable. Looking at this problem right here, what is my variable?
X.
X, okay? You have identified it. That is the X. Now, the whole goal is to get X by itself. Now, I want you to think about this problem as if you have split the problem in half. This equals sign right here is where you're splitting the problem in half. So we've got the left side over here and the right side over here. But as you can see, on the left side, the X is not by itself, and we want to get the variable by itself. What do I have to get rid of in order to get that X by itself?
You have to get rid of 13.
Plus 13, all right? So now, I have to come up with a way to get rid of plus 13. What's the opposite of plus 13?
Negative 13.
Minus 13, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this 13 right here by simply doing minus 13. Now, according to my rules, number 3, what does rule number 3 say that we just wrote down? Whatever I do to one side. So we just did that to the left side, to the left of the equal sign. I have to do the same thing to the right side. So if I minus 13 on the left, I also have to minus 13 on the right. All right, now you really don't need this big line right here. I'm just going to kind of take over it. But you can see to the left of the equal sign and to the right of the equal sign. Now we're going to see what we can do. Okay, bring down your equal sign. On this side over here, do you see anything I can do? What happens to a positive 13 and a negative 13? It cancels out, all right? So if I cancel it out, I'm just going to draw one line. As you can see, on the left-hand side, all that's left is my what? It's my X. So I'm dropping down the X. Now we're going to work to the right of the equal sign. What is 46 minus 13? 33. So your answer is X equals 33. But in my instructions, it doesn't ask me just to give the answer. It also asks me to check my solution. In order to check the solution, you're going to take the original problem that you had right there, and we're going to rewrite it down here underneath. So let's go ahead and rewrite X plus 13 equals 46. Something that I'd like you to try to do is keep those equal signs lined up. It just helps your paper to look a little bit more neat, so keep the equal signs all lined up. Now, instead of putting an X there, do I know what X equals?
Yes, 33.
What's it equal?
33.
Okay, your answer right there told us that X equals 33. So I'm going to get rid of this X right here, and instead I'm going to go ahead and put 33 in there. All right, so let's just work on this left side right here. What is 13 plus 33?
46.
46. So bring that answer directly underneath. Bring down this one right here, and then bring down your other 46. Okay? Does 46 equal 46?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Problem B. First thing you got to do, identify the variable. What's the variable? X. I want X to be by itself, but what's not allowing X to be alone?
Plus 7.
Plus 7. What's the opposite of plus 7? Negative 7 or minus 7. Remember, rule number 3 says what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Now remember, we can tell what the sides are because you could pretty much put a line right there. This is to the left of the equal sign, and that is to the right of the equal sign. All right, so let's see what we can get rid of now. Let's talk about the left side. What can I get rid of on the left side? Plus 7 minus 7. This right here cancels out, and I'm left with what on the left of the equal sign? What am I left with on the left of my equal sign? Just plain old x. So bring down the x, line up your equal sign, and now we have to do whatever was to the right of the equal sign. What is negative 10 plus negative 7?
17.
Negative 17. Okay, same sign, add the numbers, and keep the sign. So my answer is x equals negative 17. Once again, I have to check. In order to check, you're taking this original problem and you are bringing it down here and rewriting it. There's only one thing that's going to be different. What is going to be different?
The x is a 7.
I know what the x is, so I'm getting rid of that x. Then what am I putting there instead? Negative 17. All you're doing is you're taking what you figured out the answer x was right there. Okay, so now let's do this side over here. What is negative 17 plus 7?
Negative 10.
Negative 10 on the left side. Bring down your equal sign. Bring down the other negative 10 that you had right there. Does negative 10 equal negative 10?
Yes.
Give yourself a mini check mark. First things first, identify the variable. What is it?
X.
X. Your whole goal is to get x by itself, but remember, we're dividing it right here at the equal sign. To the left of the equal sign, what is not allowing x to be by itself? Negative 18. What's the opposite of negative 18? Positive 18. So if I'm going to add 18 to the left side, what do I have to do to the right? Add 18. You have to be fair. Rule number 3 says whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. As I just walked around and looked at a lot of you were subtracting 18. But remember, if over here you have negative 18 and you subtract 18, you're just going to get negative 36. But your goal is to get rid of everything to the left of that equal sign. So instead, what happens to negative 18 and positive 18? What is negative 18 plus 18? It cancels out. So you're left with what on the left side? Plain old x is all that's there, so I'm going to drop it down. Then you're going to bring that equals sign down. And what is 35 plus 18? Not 43. 53. Okay, so x equals 53. Am I finished?
No.
What do I have to do?
Check.
It. What should I be writing for when I check it?
53 minus 18
Equals
equals 35.
All right, so now let's work the left side. What is 53 minus 18?
35.
It is 35. So does 35 equal 35?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Give yourself a little check mark saying it checked out and it does work. Okay, who feels comfortable and wants to do problem D for me? Let me have Kyla try it out. Identify your variable.
It's y.
Y. What is not allowing y to be by itself?
12.
What kind of a 12?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. What's the opposite of negative 12?
12. Plus 12.
Plus 12. So positive 12, I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So now remember, you're thinking of this like you're splitting it in half. My whole goal is to get this right here by itself. What happens to the negative 12 and the positive 12?
It becomes 0.
It becomes a 0. It cancels out. And what are you left with to the right of the equal sign?
Y.
Just a y. Okay, so now we got to come over here. What is negative 9 plus 12?
0.
Not 0.
Hold on.
Remember, same sign, add and keep, different signs, subtract and take. Negative 9 plus 12.
3. Negative. Yeah, 3.
Positive 3 is correct, okay? Now, here's something just for me, what I would like you to do. Instead of saying 3 equals y, I just want you to switch it up right underneath it and go ahead, always put that variable first. Y equals 3. Who would like to check it for me? Alex, go ahead. Okay, look, you want to take this right here and rewrite this down here. So what's the first thing it says where I just highlighted?
Oh, -9.
There you go. Okay, so keep going. -9 equals. Remember, you want to line up those equal signs so your problem looks nice and neat.
-9 equals.
Okay, the original problem says -9 equals y minus 12. But Alex, what can we get rid of and replace in that right there? Because we discovered what the y is.
3.
Okay, so let's get rid of the y, and instead of the y, what will we put?
3.
A 3. Okay, so now bring this down. Bring down your equal sign. Bring down your -9. Now we've got to work this out. Class, what's 3 minus 12?
-9.
-9. Does -9 equal -9? Yes, so you did it correct. For problems E and F, there's something that I want you to know, and I wrote it here in red. Combine the like terms on the same side of the equal sign first. So let's look right here. Is there anything on this side of the equal sign that you could see that I could combine the like terms? What is a like over there? 16 and 5, all right? They're both constants. They are numbers that stand alone. What is 16 plus 5?
21.
21. So now we're going to bring that down 21, and we're just going to bring everything else down. Plus A equals 25. Now it looks like a normal problem that we've been doing today, but we have to combine the like terms first, okay? Once again, you have a variable. What's my variable? A. Your goal is to get A by itself. Asia, what do I have to do to get A all by itself on the left of the equal sign? Get rid of the 21. What's the opposite of positive 21? Negative 21. So if I subtract 21 from the left, I have to subtract 21 from the right. What happens to this side of the equation? All right, the 21s cancel each other out, and I'm left with plain old
A.
Okay, what is 25 now? We're going to do this. 25 minus 21? 4. So your answer is A equals 4. Now let's just go ahead and check it. Michael, check it for me. Remember, when you check it, you're going to take this and bring that entire thing down here, but we're going to get rid of the A that's there and put in what we learned A is. Go ahead, Michael.
Plus 4.
Keep reading me everything that's in the yellow.
Plus 5.
Very good. Okay, so the only thing is you just put this 4 up there where the A is because we learned that that's what A was. All right, so now let's go ahead and add the left side together. Michael, what's 16 plus 4 plus 5?
25.
It is 25. So I'm going to take that and bring it down. Bring down your equal sign and bring down your 25. Does 25 equal 25? Yes, it does. JD, try it for me. Identify the variable.
1.3 and 4 equals 1.7. Bring it down.
Okay, 1.3 plus 4 does not equal 1.7.
Oh, I thought there was a dot.
Okay, much better. So we have 2 equals 5.3 plus A. Okay, tell me what to do.
And then you put negative 5.3 under 5.3 cancels out. But negative 5.3 under 2 equals negative 3.3. And that's what A is.
Okay, now remember, I would prefer you switch it, put the variable first, and then what the answer is second. Who wants to check his work? Alex, go for it.
Oh, okay. I gotta put A. 2 equals 1.3 plus negative 3.3 plus 4.
Very good. So now I bring down my 2, bring down my equals, and what is 1.3 plus negative 3.3 plus 4? You are allowed to use your calculator, or you can just use your brain. The answer is 2. Does 2 equal 2?
Yes.
Good job. Remember, less than is what kind of a word? A turnaround word. Okay, so yes, it's subtraction, but that means the 5 has to go over here, And then P would go over there, because remember, anything with a than in it, we learned it yesterday, is a turnaround word. Then we know it equals negative 17, okay? If yours doesn't look like this, fix it for me, okay? Now, I want to get that P by itself, so I got to add 5 to both sides. P equals negative 12. How many of you got that?
I got
All right.
22.
Great job today, guys.